So welcome back after like a month.
Yeah, it's that bad. Episode
Number 9.
Episode number 9, The Punisher, 2004.
Punisher, 2004 action crime drama movie. An undercover FBI agent becomes a vigilante assassin and sets out to unleash his wrath upon the corrupt businessman who slaughtered his entire family at a reunion. So this movie has a 33 Metascore. It was directed by Jonathan Henslow. It stars Thomas Jane, Ben Foster, Rebecca Romijn, John Travolta. So, what's your history with this movie?
I grew up loving The Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
I used to read the comic books, and this is a time, I think this is mid to early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you could still read books and go to like libraries. And I remember going to the grocery store. They would have comic books on sale.
Really?
Like, yeah, weirdly. And like, yeah, for the most part, they were all dented up and shit like that. It wasn't like the best quality, but yeah, I could buy Punisher comics, and I would always buy them.
Okay.
Like, I never, like, in Texas, you'd never be like, oh, I need to look up the comic book shop so I can go there and talk. Like, it was just too vast. There were no comic book shops. It was like Blockbuster. But yeah, so I was a big Punisher fanatic. I saw the Lundgren movie, and I thought it was great. Because, all right, people hate the Dolph Lundgren movie, and they say it's all wrong and this and that. It has nothing to do. But, dude, I think that, like, they did a lot of things. They kept, the pacing of the movie was decent. Like, it had, like, everything. Mafia guys, police, corruption. It had Yakuza. It had ninjas. It had ninjas. Come on. And then when this movie came out, I just stopped caring. Like, I was so into the comic books that, like, the Thomas Jane movie just looked horrible.
Really?
And yeah, because that's the thing, they based it off of the Welcome Back Frank comics. Right. And I was like, that was like the worst one that I ever read. Like, dude, there's so many. This is the thing, dude. If you're gonna make a movie about the Punisher, there's like a billion, gazillion. There's like 300, 400 issues.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, dude. That's like the worst storyline they could have chosen. I guess when you see a live action version of it versus the comic, it wasn't that bad, in my opinion.
I didn't see it when it came out. I didn't really have any interest. I was not a Punisher fan at all. I became a Punisher fan years later when I read
Punisher Max.
Yeah, Jason Aaron's.
But you were reading comic before, right?
Yeah.
What were you into?
I was more like I read specific writers, but more DC, Batman, that kind of thing.
So wow, this is back in high school, and you actually sought out the writers. That's pretty interesting. I was like the worst.
It was at college. Yeah.
I was the worst at that, dude. I was never like, I want to know who drew this or wrote this.
When I was a kid, I would just, if I saw a cool cover, I'd be like, oh, I want to read that.
Exactly. Like X-Men, I was like, I have no idea who wrote the X-Men or who drew them.
When I got older, I started to like pay attention to that stuff, and then I got really into that. So it didn't matter what character it was. I would follow certain writers. So like Jason Aaron, I was a fan, and Garth Ennis, I was a fan. He did Hitman for DC, which was kind of like a Punisher knockoff in a sense.
Garth Ennis. When you say, oh yeah, what was the Hitman? I read that. That was dope.
Yeah, it was great, right?
That was like about a bad guy, right?
Yeah, he was sort of an anti-hero. I eventually saw it like on TV or something. I didn't hate it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was weird, but it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I never saw it when it came out. So let's talk about the cast. So what did you think of Thomas Jane as the Punisher?
I like that guy. Like, I wish that he was the Punisher again. Like, they need to make another Punisher movie. They need to make like 2 Punisher movies. They need to have the Punisher show, and they need to also have a Punisher movie coming out like every 2 years.
What would you? Hold on a second. So I agree. I like him as a Punisher.
I'm like, yo,
but you liked him better than the guy who plays him on the Netflix show?
That's what I'm saying. I think that like the Netflix guy should do the Netflix one, and then Thomas Jane should do like the offshoot movies.
Okay.
And because like this is the thing. There's different Punishers and different timelines. There's like the older Punisher. There's like the younger, slicker Punisher. There's like the super older Punisher. There's like 10 different Punishers.
What'd you think of Rebecca Romijn?
Yeah, dude. I didn't even know it was her, but she's definitely cute. She was hot. She's one of those actresses where like you tolerate her words when she speaks. There's a lot of these actresses where like when they talk, you're just like, shut up. Nobody cares what you're saying. Your dialogue sucks. And Rebecca's dialogue wasn't bad in this movie. Like, you actually wanted to listen to her.
Okay.
And it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, dude, nice tits. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like, dude, she's cute.
I thought she was great. Honestly, I didn't understand what she was doing in this movie. Like, her character, her and the other 2 guys, it made no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what the hell's going on.
If you read the comic, like they they kind of got that part right. They mastered that to the T, like from the comic.
Really?
That's I do. This is why I hated the comic so much. Cause like those characters just sucked in the comic. I was like, who cares
It doesn't
about
fit
the
the
chick?
tone. It doesn't match. It's
It was
so out of place.
Even reading the comic, like the tone was just too comical.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't like that at all for the Punisher. The Punisher is like a very serious character.
Yeah, it just doesn't work to mix the two. Like, pick one.
Like,
You can't go from like, the guy murders people like on a whim to slapsticky humor. Like, there's this. Well, I don't want to get into the movie.
There's a way to do it.
The structure. Hold on. So we think Rebecca did an okay job, but her character didn't make a lot of sense. We agree on that?
Yep.
Okay. What about John Travolta?
John Travolta was your basic thug, bad guy, villain, and he did all right. He did a pretty good job for the role that he had. But it's weird, man. Like, I think around that same time, it seemed like his career was just faltering. You could just tell that he was just taking roles.
You think so?
I think it was around the same. Battlefield Earth was around that same time.
I'll say this about him playing the character, and I said this the first time too. He was more subdued than normal, and I think it worked.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Because he kind of like steals the show, right?
I like him as an actor. Like he definitely knows how to use his lines and like work it.
Right. So what I was gonna say was that he can like steal the show, right? So it worked to have him as the villain because he was like compelling and interesting, but he didn't overshadow Thomas Jane.
Yeah,
so it worked really well.
It seemed like they both, and it's weird too because like you didn't really. It wasn't one of those movies where like you kind of tell like that they actually. Dude, you could just tell that like when they shot the movie, they never saw each other. like like the days that Thomas Jane was filming, except for that last time where they meet at the end of the movie and stuff. But it kind of worked. It kind of worked that that they were never in the same shot.
They never had to be. Yeah, and it was kind of cool. Like like Thomas Jane sort of working in the background and taking all these actions, and it's impacting Travolta.
Yeah, and Travolta's like, "Get this guy, come
and you
on,
see them together. Yeah,
we gotta stop this. This is my business."
When they finally get together in the end, it like builds up to it perfectly.
I love how Thomas Jane in this movie was just like the calm and cool, calculated Punisher.
Yeah.
He's like, even though my family was killed and they were slaughtered, everybody was slaughtered. Actually, it was a family reunion.
Well, so I mean, if you remember,
imagine losing your entire, like, not just your wife and kids. In this one, he lost.
Yeah.
He lost everything. It was like his cousins and his freaking aunts and his.
So Frank Castle is undercover cop or FBI agent or whatever, some kind of undercover, law enforcement person, right?
Yep.
And he basically has retired, and he like finished his last case, and
he went out with a bang.
Yeah, and he like comes home to his wife and son, like he's got like the perfect life, right? It's so cliche. They go to a family reunion in Puerto Rico. The entire family's there.
Yeah,
like literally everybody in the whole freaking family. So they're there.
His great-great-great-great-grandma's there.
Exactly. She's like cutting the cake and shit. Travolta wants revenge. So he sends his goons out to Puerto Rico to slaughter the Punisher's entire family.
That was hilarious.
So they all die, and then he decides to get revenge, and he becomes the Punisher, and then he basically he sets up all these situations to turn Travolta against his men, and then in the end he takes his revenge, and the movie ends. Done.
It was a very disjointed movie. It was like you could see how like they edited the movie together, and like you just start wondering about the production. Like, oh, I wonder how many days they shot in Puerto Rico for that scene. This movie was interesting because it's such a cold-blooded movie. Like, it's really calculated, and like the guy just like blatantly just like kills people, right? Mm-hmm. In certain scenes, and then like when his family gets killed, it's just cheesy and hilarious the way they get gunned. Everybody just gets gunned down, and all the henchmen look all like your typical like, oh, my henchman, look at me.
Oh yeah, I said this last time. Like, a little bit of advice: if you're gonna go murder a family, don't like wear all black. It's like very obvious who the killers are.
They all were black.
Yeah.
And they were all in
and it's daytime in freaking Puerto Rico. Like
it was like a. This is the thing too. Like, they could have had fun with this, man. I think they tried to have fun with it. Like, it was like one of those like commando type movies where like they're in like a tropical zone and like just blowing people up with machine gun fire and we're just shooting them up in broad daylight. I kept expecting Schwarzenegger to just pop out of nowhere and be like, "You need my help? I'm coming to save you. I'm going to help you, Punisher." But yeah, so the movie. I mean, in the end, like it was one of those movies where I had like I never saw it. Like when it came out, I was like, "This movie looks stupid." and like the reviews sucked and everything. So by the time we got to this now, and like it's whatever percentage it has right now, like it's one of those movies where like I'm actually like, yeah, like it wasn't that bad for what they did with it. But I doubt that they can make their money back. Like right now, they're probably just giving it out for free.
All right, here's what I have to say. Start with that.
Lay it out, bro.
All right, this movie had shades of 1989 Batman, Tim Burton Batman. Here's why. Both movies were great movies, but they were terrible movies in the context of the characters they were portraying.
It's so weird, man. I thought that the Tim Burton Batman was epic when I saw it. I thought it was like the best. Like
So
the soundtrack.
both movies made big changes to the characters, like backstories and things, right?
Oh, right. True. There you go.
From the perspective of like being a Batman movie, you could say that Tim Burton one was pretty terrible because it was so,
It had nothing to do with the comic.
Right. But in the context of the movie, it worked. Like if this wasn't necessarily a Punisher movie, had the plot that it had, it still works.
That's a good point, man. Like the things that Burton was able to get away with in the Batman movie, and it worked.
Yeah, in the context of the movie.
In the context of that movie.
Right. Same thing with this. As a Punisher movie, it's terrible. It doesn't get the character at all. But it still works in the context of the movie itself.
Damn it.
And then also visually, like I guess the cinematography or whatever, looked like, a late 80s movie.
Yeah, the shots that they did with how they would kill people was very interesting.
Right.
Like the way that they
just like the colors and everything.
But the angles, like I'll tell you, like the way when he shoots people and stuff, it's something different about it.
So there's that. And then there's just like little dumb things I thought were stupid. Like the whole beginning was so cliche. It's his last case. He just retired. His whole family's in Puerto Rico.
He's got to move now.
He's got a perfect, wife and son. The relationship is perfect. It's so ridiculous. It's just like so over the top. And the death scenes are so dramatic, overly dramatic. Like it was just ridiculous. It's like tone it down a little bit. There's the stuff we talked about before, like the tone shifts. It was just so weird. Like there's a scene where he's fighting, where the Travolta sends that big Russian dude after him, and he breaks into the apartment and they're fighting, but it's like slapsticky. But they're fighting to like murder each other.
I'm telling you, the reason why this movie doesn't deserve. I'm glad that like it didn't get the praise that it deserved, because they chose like the cheesiest comic series out of like everything. It's almost like they were like, let's try to make a funny Punisher movie. That's literally what they must have been thinking.
But to go back to my other comment, in the context of the movie, it actually kind of worked.
I mean, yeah,
because it had some heart. Those characters brought some heart to it.
It worked as a movie. Yeah. It definitely worked as a movie.
It was very entertaining, and I don't know, it worked. I can't really explain it, but it worked. And
as a standalone film, like if you disregard the comic, like it's like, oh yeah, that's funny, it was cool.
Yeah,
the car and shit driving around.
Yeah, there was just some cool stuff in there. I love that fake fire hydrant thing. That was cool.
What was that?
So like you wanted to frame the wife, right?
Oh yeah, the fake fire hydrant. I think that was pretty damn cheesy.
That was cool. I want one of those.
But like, how did the cops just showed up and just started writing her tickets? It just didn't make sense.
No, he put the hydrant there so no one would park in the spot. He put her car, and then he drove her car to the hotel and parked it in a illegal zone so that she would get a ticket. I
totally forgot what he did. I thought he brought his own fake hydrant.
Yeah, that's what he did. And he put it where her car was so that no one would park there, so that he could put the car back and she wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. He was going to take her car. Yeah. And then he moved it to a place where she would get a ticket.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So hilarious.
That was cool, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then this is another point I had about it. This guy, the Punisher character had no character development at all. His family dies, and then he's sort of like reacting to it, right?
Oh yeah, his
and then the very next scene, boom, he's ready to be the Punisher.
His reacting time.
We don't know anything about this guy. He's got no arc in the movie at all, because we don't know who he is or what motivates him or anything in the beginning. He's so one-dimensional.
That's the thing, and this is how the Punisher. I forgot, how was it in the comic? Like in the comic, his family gets gunned down,
right,
by mafiosos,
right.
But he's not there when it happens, right?
I don't think so.
But like in this one, they capture him and they shoot him like near the heart, but not in the heart. And then they blow up the he's like on some dock and they blow it up, and he flies off the dock because the explosion, and he has like 0-degree burns.
Well, let me finish my point. The character has no arc. We don't know anything about him. We should have seen him react to his family's death. Then it would have made a little more sense why he was what his motivation was to become the Punisher.
But they did show him like drinking himself to death every night or some shit.
Right, but okay, yes. But what I'm trying to say is, if we got to know him before all that happened a little bit, then we could actually connect to this character, and it would mean more to us. you can't connect to the Punisher at all because you don't know jack shit about him.
Yeah.
If he was like a normal guy that we could relate to, right, in the beginning, and then he becomes this guy who's like drinking and can't deal with his loss, that would have made a whole lot more sense and added some depth to the movie. I would have liked that. But in the beginning, he's basically just perfect father, great guy, cop, hero,
Good
right?
guy, cop.
Everything
Good guy.
works perfectly for him, like some '80s action movie, and then they die and he's punished. There's no like transition or like there's no turn for him because there's no freaking depth to the character. So it just when people are playing off of him, it doesn't work. That's the only like major complaint I have.
Yeah, it's kind of like interesting how I just felt that like he's one of those characters where it's just too good to be true. It's like he doesn't have problems. Oh, his family gets killed. He'll be fine. He's gonna get some of the
Punisher.
Well,
yeah, he did have that. The code that he was reciting later in the movie when I think it was like the last scene where he's like, "These are the rules to live by," right? Like that would have been perfect if we had some idea of what his code was before this tragedy happened. Like I want to see how the murder has actually impacted him and shaped his decisions and actions. But because we don't know who the hell he is before that, or how he feels,
the storyline was just it's just off.
I don't think it was a story. I think like literally the way the character was portrayed, there was no depth to it.
It's almost like they cut the movie up so much that like you didn't see any grieving, you didn't see anything.
Could be, yeah. Possible they took a lot out.
Yeah, you made a really good point. Explain like what you said about his son dying or whatever when his son gave him that gift.
Oh yeah, so there's a scene where right before the family dies, his son gives him a present, and it's like a package, right? He says, I got this for you as a present to like protect you.
He's like, Dad, I got you a gift.
Yeah, and then he opens it up, and it's the Punisher shirt, right?
With the skull.
What I thought would have been much better is if the son gives him the gift, but he doesn't open it yet. Then the family gets murdered, and the house burns down, and then when the Punisher is like walking up to the house and he sees everything burning down, he sees the gift and he takes it, and there's a card, and he opens the card, and the card says, "To protect you." And then he opens it up, and it's the Punisher T-shirt.
And he's like, "It's time to go murder
everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's go get him."
I think that would have made a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, I don't understand how they didn't think of that. Like, it's just like that right there sounds like one of the most genius things that movie could have just. They could have set that movie on a crusade, and people would have loved it. Like people would have been like, "Yeah, he has every reason to fight now." I would have got all choked up too, dude. When I saw that, I would have been like, "Oh."
Just me saying it right now is getting me all choked up.
I'm like ready to like. I think I'm going to send an email to the director. Like, look, well, you can still bring this back, okay? Put this
CGI, like Punisher Special Edition with like CGI edits.
Freaking edit it again. Put this part in. I'm telling you right now, we do this podcast. We'll be like side producers. We'll be co-producers on this next installment. Just put this scene back in the movie.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's do the verdict here. So let me read some reviews here. So Roger Ebert gave it 2 stars. He says, "The Punisher is a long, dark slog through grim revenge." Peter Travers, Rolling Stone, 75. "Among the recent spate of comic book movies, from Spider-Man to the X-Men, The Punisher is unique." Baltimore Sun, Chris Kaltenbach said, "The Punisher punishes. That's what he does, and that's all this movie does." Helpful review.
That's all this movie does.
Mark Savalov from the Austin Chronicle gave it a 0 and said, "The Punisher is such a bad film that it becomes inadvertently entertaining. It's enough to make you pine for the original version of the black-clad Marvel Comics badass, played to awful imperfection in 1989 by Dolph Lundgren." And then Jamie Bernard from the New York Daily Times gave it a 38. "It features an insane amount of violence and a number of visual references to the comic, but it lacks the original's humor and spirit." What original? The comic? I don't know what you're talking about.
There was like a humor in it, but I like that though. He knows what he's talking about. I think he's read that shit. He's read the comics. Actually,
okay.
That's probably one of the shittiest.
And it got a 29% Rotten Tomatoes. So what do you think? Is it really that bad?
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think we both agree.
So there you go. That's the verdict. We got that. It's not that bad, ladies and gentlemen. But that's the thing. Thomas Jane saved the whole movie, man. Like, the guy is just a badass on screen.
What about Travolta?
Travolta was good too. Travolta was cool. I thought it was really cheesy the way he killed his wife, though. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
it was so hilarious, dude. And dude, his wife was hot too. She had like the biggest boobs ever, dude. Like stacked. At least the way they shot her, I was like, dude, those tits are like freaking colossal. His henchmen were just kind of like corny and shit. I thought
Yeah,
the
they
henchman
were
thing, I was just like,
forgettable.
hurry up and die. Hurry up and just get shot. Just get shot. And then even at the end, dude, where he shows, they have the showdown with him and Thomas Jane or whatever. I was just like, dude, you're just going to get shot.
So, what would you, let me ask you this. So, instead of 29%, what would you give it?
I mean, not much better, but I'd say like probably like in the 40s.
Really?
Definitely doesn't deserve over 50.
I would give it 37.
Yeah, somewhere around the 30s. Like, high 30s.
Um,
Because, like, yeah, it's maybe like low 40s. I just liked the way that they really did the set design for him. Like the way, dude, the guy was ripped. He was freaking in the best shape of his life. He looked like the way the Punisher should look. This is the thing. After seeing this movie, I was like, dude, they gotta make more Punisher movies. Like they gotta
they
start.
made the Warzone movie, which is terrible.
Yeah, but they wait like every 6 years or something.
Well, they're not making any more anytime soon. Unless, actually, that's not true. Or maybe if the Netflix series is big enough.
If the Netflix series takes off, then like
Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll probably get some funding for it. But dude, it's like, come on, like what are you waiting on?
Yeah, but hang on a second though. Would that really fit with the typical Marvel movies?
What, the Punisher?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to make it in that same style, and I don't know if that's really gonna work.
No, I mean the Netflix. Oh, you mean the movie or they do the Netflix?
I'm saying if they make a movie, right? It's
Yeah.
not like it's gotta fit the Marvel formula, and it doesn't really do that.
I don't know what they're gonna try to do, but like, I mean, look at Daredevil. Like, they're not even touching a Daredevil movie. Like, ever since the Ben Affleck one, they're like, we're not even gonna go near it.
Well, I think the idea was they put the more like serious adult characters on TV so that they could make them like darker.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what they need to do. They need to get some director who's like into some like weird, crazy, like offshoot type of action movie that wants to like get into the dark side of Marvel. Yeah, you know how like they did Logan and whatever. Logan's like really dark. Like that's what they do with the Punisher.
That's my point.
Do that to
That's
the
my point.
Punisher.
Marvel's not going to do that. They have a formula.
They could do that. I mean, if Fox picks it up, Fox will probably do something with it. Something with Fox.
Right, but Marvel Studios owns the rights again. Fox is the one who made this movie.
They made the Punisher?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Fox owned the Punisher back then. They owned the Punisher, Daredevil.
Wait, so you're saying that this Logan movie was not... Who owned the previous X-Men movies?
They were all Fox, including Logan.
Oh, shit. So
Fox still owns X-Men.
That's what I'm saying. So Fox did a great job of making this like a darker rated R-ish when it came to
Right,
X-Men.
but what I'm saying is Marvel Studios, aka Disney, now owns Punisher again. So they're not going to make a dark movie like that.
Wait,
They're
so Fox doesn't own Punisher anymore?
No, they lost the rights years ago.
What?
That's why they were able to make the Netflix series and have it be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, so they'll just let Netflix deal with it. They'll be like, you guys just make something dark. We're not going to make a movie unless we want to.
That's what I'm saying. If it takes off and they actually decide to do it, like they could, but I don't know how it would fit with the movie formula that they have.
Man, I wish that they would just... I like Thomas Jane more than the other guy. The other guy's good, but I like Thomas Jane more. But Thomas Jane's more of an actor, Hollywood guy. I doubt that they're going to get him on the Netflix thing. He's not going to go on there.
Well, why would they? They already have another guy.
Yeah, the other guy's already doing it, yeah. They're just going to switch him out unless he has cancer or something.
That's a weird thing to say. Okay, so that's it.
Cancer.
What do you guys think? Was it terrible, or do you agree? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, dislike.
Let us know what you think. Sorry for the long delay, guys. I know you guys were panning for it and waiting. All the emails you guys sent and
I'm gonna
all the worries.
be honest. The next couple of weeks, there may be a little bit more of a delay, but after that, we'll have a more consistent schedule.
Hey, man, this is the thing, bro. This is why we do this. Like, there's no set schedule.
No, I want to do this every week. You think?
I want to do it every week, too, but I'm saying when we get to that, we'll get to that. Like, it's, we'll make it happen.
So next week, we got the remake of Point Break.
Oh, my God.
I started watching that. That was...
Well, you watched it?
I started watching it. So that's it for this week.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.